Ian Garry is not happy about Jack Della Madalena's comment about his son. Leading up to UFC 315, Ian was the official backup fighter for Jack versus Belal Muhammad. And throughout fight week, Ian had his son giving Jack M&Ms. According to ChatGPT, M&Ms are one of Jack's favorite candy, so Ian's goal was to place them everywhere, including on top of the scale, in order to make Jack miss weight. Here's what JDM had to say in response at the pre-fight press conference.
What's it like having a very vocal backup opponent, and has it been distracting? Were you tempted by the M&Ms at all?
I don't think that's actually Ian's son. And I don't like M&Ms.
Ian Garry has reacted to that clip and says the comment was immature. He said, in his last 4 fights, Jack has had 1 finish, so he's telling me I need to get into the gym and I need to find some power. He got beat up pretty bad. Belal ain't nowhere near the striker I am. I'll bend his nose backward the way it should be. His coach should stay out of this. My son giving him M&Ms is a playful, harmful joke, having a laugh about him missing weight. It was all good. It was all a bit of banter. I'm not flying around the world trying to be a superstar, trying to be someone famous. I'm flying around the world ready to fight. If I'm needed, I'll show up and I'll do what I need to do to fight. If he's the champion, I'll take the belt from his hands. There's a playful joke about a child giving a fighter M&Ms with the baseline comedy of, take these, eat these, miss weight, and my daddy will step in and win a world title. That's just a laugh. It's low level. Then to go out there and say the comments that he said was just immature. It shows that he's very sensitive, because if he said something like that, which he's never acted out of his character, which means what I was doing on fight week irritated him enough to trigger him to say something like that. It means when I do fight him, it's going to open up a whole can of irritation, because I reckon he's mentally weak. I can get in his head, but I'll never stoop so low as to mention his child and his children and his wife, because I don't need to. I walk in there in the octagon, I'll punch the mouth off him, I'll take his belt. I don't need to say anything. Tony Ferguson reacted to Israel Adesanya recently training with David Goggins. Tony trained with Goggins for his fight against Paddy Pimblett, and like Izzy, Goggins also made Tony throw up.
You see Goggins coaching Izzy? He has him puking too. Oh yeah, it's good, man. I think every fighter should go through that shit. Maybe not a whole week, but damn, at least a session. By the way, that week for Chief Goggins, light work, coach, light work.
Chael Sonnen could not believe the odds for Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Currently, Topuria is a -370 favorite.
-370 favorite Topuria is to beat Charles Do Bronx Oliveira.
What?
-370.
That is insane. That is not right.
To be the world champion that defended 3 times, has more submissions than anyone in UFC history, and he's a -370 favorite.
John Anik says Justin Gaethje was pissed upon hearing Ilia Topuria will be fighting Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. On the Anik and Florian podcast, he said, so after Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje, he played golf for 180 straight days, and he's gotten really f***ing good. I was with Justin Gaethje a lot this week, and he was pissed. He feels like certainly he was passed over in favor of Charles Oliveira for this opportunity against Ilia Topuria. And I think what Justin Gaethje and his manager Ali Abdelaziz are looking for is just some sort of guarantee they will be next. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland is set to go down at UFC 316. Luque says he plans to defeat Holland, get back into the top 5, and then back into the title picture. Speaking to MMA Junkie, he went on to say it's one of the fights to get me back to the top. That's what I'm looking for. I want to get back into that mix in the top 5. That's the goal for this year, and I think a fight against Holland, it's not easy to get a ranked opponent right now, and I don't want to wait. I've been waiting for a long time, and I think that Holland is the kind of name who has been in the rankings in middleweight and welterweight. He's a guy that everyone is backing and supporting, and I think it's a fight that brings the hype, and it's a win. If I go out there and pick up a good win against him, I think that sets me up for a great fight after that and moves me up the rankings. That's my goal, to get back to the top 5 and get back to the title picture. He's not trying to stall. He's not trying to have a safe fight. That's what I like. That's what brings the best out of me. My own game is I can knock you out, I can submit you, I'm a complete MMA fighter. And more than anything, I'm always going for that finish. It's a style that really matches well. We have all the ingredients to make a fight of the night, a fight of the year, to go out there and do what I do and show the UFC and everybody that I'm still hungry for that title. I'm climbing up. I'm just 33 years old. I feel like I'm still just getting better. That's what I'm going to show that night. Sean O'Malley's coach Tim Welch says that their entire team has leveled up since Sean lost his bantamweight title to Merab. Ahead of their rematch at UFC 316, Tim says the loss was actually a positive thing, and it was meant to happen.
But when you think back from a physical, like health standpoint and also just skills standpoint, was he really equipped to beat Merab at the Sphere?
I mean, he's such a sniper. He's such a sniper. And if you make the wrong decision, if you make one mistake against him, he's going to put your lights out and he's going to put one on the dot. So I just think it was meant to happen. I've rewatched that fight so many times. I rewatched the fight in slow-mo so many times. There was tons and tons of shots that barely missed by inches that would have completely changed the fight. And I think a lot of it had to do, I mean, with the Sphere and the lighting and then not only injury. I just feel like in our lives that was supposed to happen. It really, really caused us to truly just level up as humans. And it was, looking back, it was good, really good for us.
Michael Bisping reacts to Magomed Ankalaev claiming that Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka turned down fights against him. Bisping explains why he doesn't fault either of them for passing up on the fight.
I don't blame Jiri Prochazka, and I don't blame Pereira, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't short notice. This was a couple of weeks ago now. 317's about 5 weeks away, so it still would have been, essentially a full camp. But regardless, Prochazka, he just lost. He's been lost to Pereira twice. If he was to get another title fight, getting a third title shot, is that 3 or 4? Because he's been the champ. If he loses that one again, he ain't gonna get another one. So I don't blame him. Certainly Ankalaev, being gigantic, the size that he is, and with the style that he has, I don't blame him necessarily for that.
Ian Garry made an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show yesterday and discussed whether or not Shavkat Rakhmonov deserves a welterweight title shot. Despite Ian recently losing to Shavkat via unanimous decision back in December, Ian explains why he does not think Shavkat should come back and fight for the belt.
When you look at the welterweight division right now and the way the welterweight division has evolved, I'd argue it's the most exciting it's ever been right now.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
When you look at sheer depth of talent and youth and the passing of the torch from the young to the old, like from the old to the young in the division, it's arguably the most exciting the division's ever been. And you look at the names, like you look at people under 30 in that division that are just on a tear. You've got Shavkat, you've got Jack, you've got me, you've got Moraes, you've got loads of us that are just young and hungry and have stuff to prove. And that's exciting. When you've got that energy mixed with sheer talent, that's impressive. So the division is at a very good place. And I feel like when you've got guys fighting, I think Buckley's going to run through Kamaru Usman. There's another guy. I believe I've already shown on the drop of a dime that I'm one of the best in the world against anyone. I was there for the backup, and then the UFC know how game I am. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Sean Brady, who just come off a win against Leon. All of us are right there on that cusp, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe Shavkat should just come back and get that, especially if all of us fight again.
Yes, multiple times.
But that's not how it works sometimes, unfortunately.
Sean Strickland says that he wanted to fight Reiner de Ridder before RDR got booked to fight Robert Whittaker. He also says he was offered to fight Caio Borralho and turned it down. Speaking to Helen Yee, Sean said, "I wanted to fight that RDR kid, but he got booked. Yeah, so Mick Maynard wanted me to fight Caio Borralho. Such a great guy. I said no. Well, we kind of both said no. I mean, I know him. I know his wife. I know his family." Sean also gave his prediction for the upcoming fight between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev. Sean explains why he favors Dricus to win. He continued, "They can grapple. Someone like me, I've been training these f***ers for years. I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them, so I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him. But if he can, I think he wins, hands down. I sparred the Chechen, hands down. I think Dricus wins. It's just going to come down to, are you going to be able to stop that and counter wrestle him? You can. It's not hard." Yesterday, footage emerged on social media of Jon Jones FaceTiming an old friend. And during the call, Jon said that he was done fighting.
How are you, bro?
Everything is fine, my friend.
You doing good? My man.
I'm excited to see you again. But you're still active. 10 years left.
He said, you got 10 years left, but you're still active.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm done.
He got a little girl, he's like, oh.
Today, Jon reposted this video to his Instagram story taunting Tom Aspinall. It says, "Drama dog got humbled fast. Have you ever seen a dog correct another dog like this?" Jon wrote what I feel like returning to the UFC after some much needed downtime. Jon also responded to an individual saying that he wasted Tom Aspinall's prime. They wrote, "Bro really wasted Tom's prime like that, no respect at all." Jon replied, "Cry more." Tom Aspinall believes he can beat Alex Pereira.
Question for Big T is, do I think I would beat Alex Pereira? I think I could beat anybody. If I hit anybody, I think I can knock him out. So we've not seen him at heavyweight is the answer. He obviously lost his last fight. He's got a lot to do. Back down at light heavy, so we'll see how it goes, but the answer is yes, I do.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. These comments are in reference to Jon Jones saying that he's done fighting. The first one says, "Good. Can we now move on from Jon Jones? Tired of this whole thing." The second one's from BA2037. Says, "Jon got one whiff of that Thai guy's hair on the bike and decided he has a new calling in life." And the final one's from Perfect Panels 9. It says, "I guess now the only thing Jon is fighting is his sexuality." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.